Welcome, everyone. This is Jim Sporer with ISSIP, the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals. And today I have Haluk Demirkan. Haluk and I are colleagues and friends for many, many years, multiple decades now. Haluk is on the board of ISSIP, as I am. Haluk is a co-founder of ISSIP, as I am. So we've really worked closely over the years. We've co-authored books together and articles and I could go on and on about all the fun things that Haluk and I have worked on together. But today we're focused on the digital transformation of retail and hospitality. And Haluk, could you just introduce yourself? I know a lot of the ISIP community already knows you, but just kind of introduce yourself and maybe talk a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the digital transformation topic.
Sure. Hi, Jim. Thank you so much for inviting me for this presentation series and this interview. And as Jim mentioned, my name is Haluk Demirkan. I am carrying two hats currently. I am a endowed professor at University of Washington in Service Innovation and Business Analytics area, and also I am a senior manager at Amazon in area of cognitive analytics. So basically, my academic research, teaching, and also my industry work in context of primarily in data analytics, digital transformation, machine learning, and AI. And
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. And so we did briefly start talking about this digital transformation of retail, and we were talking about some of the measures that we're starting to hear people talk about. For example, some people are focused on, sorry, my cat is like got to
Mhm.
keep them away. Uh, the Some people are talking about the energy required to deliver stuff because retail has supply chains, and maybe that energy measure in 10 years in the future, we're going to see that drop. Other people have said maybe it has to do with um, uh, I've even got one person that says there's going to be deflation as technology enters and transforms the service sector and manufacturing. There's going to be like deflation. So things will actually start getting cheaper in the future as one measure. And some people just kind of focus on the computation getting cheaper, the Moore's law. But I think you had mentioned that there's some problems with the current digital transformation in terms of the accuracy of the models, and maybe an accuracy measure might make sense for the future. So, Haluk, could you just give us in a broad brush how you see the digital transformation of industries and retail happening, and what thoughts you have, brainstorming ideas about the measure?
Sure. So in my mind, digital transformation starts in with basic outtasking. So, I mean, almost every organization started this digital transformation with the concept of, let's say, they did some optimization, they did simulation, they did some machine learning for predicting future, and then they moved to the concept of automation,
Mm,
right? Automating some of the tasks. And then from that automation of the tasks, then move to the more hardcore, like AI enabled. What I mean is automation is right even before automation, a lot of organizations started to build recommendation systems.
right.
And then from recommendation systems, whenever they started to move to decision systems, decision-making systems, that is the time this AI utilization start increase.
Yeah.
And then that decision systems, they started with the outtasking, like how can I start outsource specific routine repetitive tasks to technology so to people can have more time to do other things, more tactical strategic things. And then now from that outtasking, we are moving to the more outsource and whole business process with AI solutions, like writing a doc with the generative AI or building a robot to work at a warehouse to move things from one place to other place. So in these processes, in my mind, especially after the recommendation systems and decision systems, all AI systems are a type of educated guess. It's prediction for future.
Right.
So like when they are building a robot, okay, how robot is gonna behave for task A versus task B, or when the companies are using generative AI to write a content, okay, it is still predicting what word, what sentence, what letter needs to come as a next. It's a prediction. And then, especially in the generative AI world, almost you need so much content and so much horsepower. So all the large big companies are able to afford building these transformers and foundation models. They spend billions of dollars.
Mm.
So more than 80% of the AI application development is really comes top of that foundation models. So that's the part I noticed still there are not many uh, measures how to evaluate, how to capture, how to monitor, how to evaluate, how to improve that prediction. Because foundation models make some prediction, and then this baby AI applications built on top of the AI, everybody, almost everybody says, "Oh, I have a huge trust on the foundation model. I think foundation model is doing good." So then I noticed that measurement or of this prediction, how accurate, because it's a decision engine. I'm making a decision with this AI solutions, and then how accurate is this decision? So if I made 50 decisions last month, okay, with this AI, how much of that 50, how much percent of that 50 decisions are correct? What's the distance? So I noticed still there's a quite a bit work needs to be done because there's really no industry standards for these metrics currently. Like it took maybe what 15, 20 years for machine learning models to come up some industry standard metrics such as WMAP, WMAE, mean average, more than 20 years for machine learning. So for AI, most companies, most people actually still don't know how to evaluate these predictions in my mind. So I think that's because, and then that's a one part. Other part is this in this digital transformation, we all talk about responsible AI, trustable AI. Again, how to measure? Like if I
Mm.
have a measurement concept from 1 to 10, 10 is the most trustable, 1 is the least trustable. How am I going to measure this? Measure or responsible 1 to 10. Those are the things still missing, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that picture you've given of the large language model with the baby model on top for some specific application, and then how do we trust the accuracy of it, and what are the measures around trusting the accuracy of it, and then like you say about responsible AI, there's other measures of trust, and
Right,
how do we measure those? Those are great answers, Haluk. I also, when you were speaking, I thought we might want to revisit. I don't know if you remember the Z transformation of work, where things go through automation and augmentation. Maybe that could be updated in some of
right,
things that we're brainstorming for the future as well. Because I like what you said about the outsourcing, right? Kind of like an expert develops a new service and then they say, okay, I got to scale it. So let me hire less skilled people, but give them some tools like FAQs so they can handle more customers. And then maybe we outsource the low skill to an even lower cost country so we get the labor cost even lower and scale it even bigger, and then of course the technology allows us to automate it so we can go through this over and over and over again with different types of service offerings. But maybe we could revisit that in the AI era and see how that might be updated. um,
right. And I think one of the reasons more and more organizations are working on AI solutions, I think the scalability. Because we have now so much data, so much interaction, uh, basically with customers, users, stakeholders, so much interaction happening. And with the digital technologies we use, all these gadgets, internet, everything, internet of everything, so much data. So the challenge becomes, how am I going to scale this? Because it's almost impossible for a human to review a billion of rows of in a database table. So let's use AI for the scalability. And then for the scalability, I think scalability is still issue. And then in this scalability, how do we measure, evaluate this? And then also even if we use AI, I think, yes, computers are getting faster and faster, but still building that full-blown technology is still complex, like upstream solutions, AI solutions, downstream solutions. Like AI system needs to get data from somewhere, lots of data. And then output of AI needs to go some downstream. And then downstream might be some another technology or another customer. I think still there's so much complexity around how to
Mhm.
put this pieces together so they work smoothly. Because in this complexity, if we have a error or mistake in one of those pieces, then we start having bad actors, right?
Yeah,
Bad
exactly.
actor AI solutions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah. When I think back of the history of the digital transformation of retail and hospitality, of course, everybody thinks of Amazon and the digital transformation of retail and, going from brick and mortar to online. I mean, if you go back that far, and then, in hospitality, it was like Airbnb, the underutilized resources becoming more.
right.
And so, as you look at that history of the digital transformation of retail and hospitality, Haluk, is there anything that you know, uh, what's the next great leap forward in your mind? Do you see something that's going to be, oh wow, science fiction today, but fact tomorrow? Anything come to mind?
Um, that's a good question. I guess for the retail, I'm thinking the biggest portion of I think convenience, right? I think like
Let me
uh,
build on this 1 minute because I,
right,
I used to talk about Amazon a lot in my talks years ago because I would say, in some way, Amazon knows me better than my mother because when I buy a lot of books and it was predicting the book I would want to buy like really accurately. And I'd buy the next book because the predictions were so accurate. So when you said convenience, I immediately thought, yeah, it's convenient when it tells you exactly the next
right,
thing you want to buy, and it's right. The
right,
accuracy point you made earlier. Like if it could
right,
really tell you what I want to buy next and be right, that would be fantastic.
right. So I think both industries, right, retail or hospitality, I think all these digital technologies provides us more convenience, right?
Yeah.
Like in retailer, if I can buy something good, cheap, fast, this is great.
Mhm.
Hospitality, same way. Um, uh, when I make a reservation for some place to stay for a vacation, okay, if something cheap, good, fast, again,
Yeah.
uh, uh, hospitality in my mind might be even probably more complex than the retail probably because in hospitality when I'm going to the vacation fast may not be that big deal, right? Because I remember there's uh, one of the things remember in Hawaii they say if you are in a rush what are you doing in Hawaii, so they always have that joke in Hawaii. So
Right, right.
so like I think uh, convenience based on time and space where the person is in. Like
Mhm.
what I mean is like if it is in the morning, if I'm going to get a coffee at a Starbucks, I just want to buy in the morning, Starbucks is the space, same place, different time. I
Mhm.
just want to get my coffee and leave so I can get to work. That's the speed is very important. But if I go to Starbucks later in the afternoon on Friday with a friend of mine, speed is not that important anymore. I just want to have a place to sit and socialize. Same place, different time, same coffee. It's just a
Yeah.
time and space. And then what environment will provide. From that part, that's why I'm saying in hospitality, there's also so much digital transformation happening. I think technology is the enabler for a business like Airbnb, right? If we didn't have a technology, we wouldn't have Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I guess the cost, I think everybody will look for how cheaper these services are,
Mhm.
and then how good they are. I think competition will be harder.
Okay.
And then
Very.
the companies who cannot use these technologies might fall behind because they won't be able to scale,
Fantastic.
or
Fantastic.
they won't be able to make it cheaper, I guess, less customers.
That's great, Haluk. Well, thank you. This is a good interview. We like to keep them relatively short.
Sure.
Go ahead and stop the recording in just a second. But thank you, Haluk. This has been
Thank you so much.